We'll decide later. Let's keep it flexible. We don't need to lock this yet. Most founders repeat these phrases like a strategy. It sounds smart, strategic, but it's one of the most expensive mistakes you can make at the MVP stage. Because delayed decisions start damaging your architecture long before your product ever scales. Hi, I'm Anastasia. I work with founders at the idea and MVP stage. I don't start with features. I start with product decisions and system architecture before chaos and technical debt take control. And the most common time bomb I see is postponed structural decisions. Here's the trap. Founders optimize for optionality. They don't define user roles. They keep scope vague. They avoid saying, "This is how it works," because choosing feels limiting. But constraint is not limitation. Constraint is structure. And without structure, a system doesn't scale. It fractures under pressure. If you don't decide how your system should work, it will start working in unpredictable ways. And that flexibility quietly turns into technical debt that eats your time, your budget, and your focus. I've seen this pattern dozens of times. A founder launches an MVP without defining user roles. Let's keep it open. We might need admins, partners, power users later. 3 or 4 months later, users access things they shouldn't. Permissions are inconsistent. Support tickets increase. Fixing one access issue now requires touching authentication, database relations, and UI logic. Nothing crashed, but every release now costs more. Every change touches 5 parts of the system, and explaining the architecture becomes harder with every sprint. All because "we'll decide later" became the default strategy. When roles aren't defined, behavior defines them, usually the wrong way. When scope boundaries aren't set, features grow without direction. When key decisions are postponed, complexity accumulates quietly. If your MVP already feels messy, hard to explain, expensive to modify, the issue is rarely that you chose the wrong path. The issue is that you didn't choose early enough. Architecture doesn't wait, it adapts, and it rarely adapts in your favor. Architecture almost never collapses because of bad ideas. It collapses because important decisions were constantly postponed. Remember this: clarity before execution, boundaries before features, decisions before growth. If you're building an MVP and want to think in systems, not just features, subscribe. This channel is about product decisions, architecture thinking, and building systems that can handle growth instead of breaking under it.